up everyone, this is Draco Evolve back yet again with some latest Manchester United transfer news and speculation, and today we have two things to discuss, two things only: Alexis Sanchez latest news and what really happened with Bruno Fernandes' potential or proposed transfer to Manchester United. As always guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you smash the sub button. I'll be bringing in almost on a daily basis content of Manchester United, and check out the rest of my channel as well. It'll be becoming a very sports themed channel in terms of having Madden content. You know, I'm a Chiefs fan, Manchester United content obviously, and some sports small indie games coming up very soon, so take a look at that, stay tuned. First up we have Alexis Sanchez, and as always guys, it is speculations. These are paper talks as we are off season in terms of the transfer window. But as I said, I will be bringing you guys what is happening around the media world, and whether they're speculation or directly from sources such as players, agents, or managers and clubs. But Alexis Sanchez, we all know he is one of the players that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is planning or trying to get rid of. However, he has, this is, oh, that is music playing. Let me just that's what happens when you have adverts, right, on sites. So anyway, so Alexis Sanchez, yes, so Alexis Sanchez is apparently, and this is according to the Sun, apparently refusing to go quietly and leave Manchester United in this summer. Obviously he is earning a lot of money, and Roma are particularly interested in his services. They have apparently offered a loan move, but he is not having it. I do not know what to think of that, other than the fact that clearly if it's a loan move, he will be getting the same money, whether Roma will be paying some, or Manchester United will be paying his wages, which is massive by the way. So why don't you just leave and stop being disruptive? Or secondly, he is genuinely working hard behind the scenes. Ollie sees that and he wants to stay and fight for his place. Unfortunately for me, he's 30 years old, he's past it. I'm sure he will do well in another club, but he just doesn't suit our style anymore. Not with his injuries, not with the new vision in terms of getting youngsters. And to be honest with you, he's a hard-working player. He will track back, but him staying fit and being able to stay fit for the full 90 minutes is a different question. So I do understand sometimes that maybe he wants to stay and fight for his space. Fair play to him if that's the case, but we haven't seen anything from him, especially when he was starting last season, that he is, you know, he is gonna become the player that he was at Arsenal. So let's compare a bit. He's got a bit of a stats. So for us, he's played 32 games and scored 3 goals, which is not very good. Barely created many chances, and you compare that to Arsenal career, where he played 122 games and scored 60 goals and was creating a few more chances than he was creating with us. And the reports are saying that the Roma, the Italians, might be looking at different targets if Sanchez does not end up coming to them. Obviously we all know that the transfer window is open still, so heads up on that. It is still open for the European League, not for us obviously. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below guys. What do you think of this particular rumor? Do you think Sanchez should go, or do you think he should be giving one more chance, maybe up till January to prove himself, right? Let me just switch the camera up a little bit. There we go. Okay. As always guys, these videos I do not plan to edit them. It's more like me coming out, sitting in front of the camera, talking and being natural as I can. The edits video is for other videos, which I will do later on, but yeah, you get the point. Next up is the one and only Bruno Fernandes. So apparently reports, Daily Mail Online is reporting that Bruno Fernandes was a target for Manchester United. Obviously we all know that. However, they had the last sort of scouts around him and they felt that he gave away the ball too much, and therefore we did not go for him. I don't know what to think of that. but looking at his possession stats in the UEFA Nations League, he had 79% possession. In the league, he has 73% possession. Pogba is our best one in the midfield with 76% possession. Now, that's not too much of a bad stat considering the fact that Herrera wasn't the best of passers. Matic is not the best of passers. Pereira is not the best of passers. Fred, same thing. And McTominay. Obviously, these players can be different this season, but I'm looking at in the back of last season because that's what we're comparing with, because we only played one game this season. He is clearly a better passer of the ball than more than half of that midfield that I mentioned. Certainly better passer than Matic, certainly better passer than Herrera, certainly McTominay and Pereira. I think that's more than half, isn't it? I think Pogba is the only one that can challenge him in terms of passing. His work rate, his assist and goals says a lot of different story. He's hungry, he's hardworking, he's reliable, rarely injured. And for the scouts to come out and say, oh, he's too much of a risk because he gives away the ball too much, I think I call that bull crap. And if it is true, whoever reported that has to be fired. It's simple as that, because you're signing the players like Fred for £50 million, yet you are passing up on someone who's clearly had a better season in a better league as well compared to where Fred came from for an extra £5 or £10 million. And he could be the deciding factor in our midfield. Yes, the first game 4-0 against Chelsea was fantastic. I have to admit that it was very good. But can that midfield hold on for the whole season? No, they can't. There's going to be injuries. There's going to be dips in form. There's going to be tiredness. And these are young players. And Matic is aging, so next season he's out. His contract is out next season. I doubt he's going to be given a contract. So that's experience going out there. Fred, we don't know whether he'll have a good season as of yet. Pereira, McTominay, they're raw talents. They'll take time. Pogba's the only player who's in himself wants to leave himself. So the decision not to get a centre midfielder was a poor decision, I reckon, in my opinion. And I have made myself, along with many of you guys, clear about these thoughts that we should have gone for a centre midfielder, and one would have been fine if you wanted to give development to the other players and game time. I mean, there are over 60 games to play this season. You got the FA Cup, UEFA, Europa League, the Premier League, EFL Cup. That's 4 competitions depending on how far you go. You get a lot of games to play. These players can play. They will play. We can't be going into the season with just realistically 2 or maybe 3 sort of central midfielders who's played a lot of games and the rest are kind of rookies. You're talking about Matic, Pogba, 100%. And you can put possibly McTominay stroke Fred in that equation, but they haven't played that many games. And even when someone like Fred, who has played a lot of games, didn't perform that well, got injured, is not consistent enough, that's a big risk. That's a huge risk. And for the scouts to come out and say that it takes too many risks in possession, maybe that's what we need. We need that. We got a solid defense now. We just need some midfielders to protect it. And over the game of the weekend, we can see that Pogba and McTominay were sitting and they did a very good job. But can they do that against proper teams? Chelsea, to be fair, they had a transfer ban, Hazard left, and new manager. It's not a proper team, isn't it? You come across someone like, say, Arsenal, who's more established, Spurs, Man City, Liverpool. Can that midfield really stay on top of the game? And even with Chelsea, I felt their midfield dominated our midfield in terms of possession. They moved the ball around, and we were kind of lost. At the end, our energy is the one that got us through past the 60-70 minute mark. Chelsea couldn't keep up. So I reckon we would have done with a midfielder, that's for sure. Someone like Bruno Fernandes, who's easily obtainable. He wants to come, if reports are to be believed. He's a good player, had a good season, so there's a win-win. I don't understand. But anyways, guys, that's it. That's the latest discussion around the transfer news speculation and obviously newspaper talks. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Bruno Fernandes will be a signing eventually, whether it's this January coming or the next summer, or is it the fact that come next summer we would have identified someone else, or some of the other players like Angel Gomez has stepped up, James Garner stepped up, and they're going to be given more game time, and we can kind of afford to drop someone like Bruno Fernandes. And as always, guys, I catch you guys in the next upload, and stay farafari.